Alright, g'day, hey, hi, and welcome. Hoping there's not too many mosquitoes in here. Cleaned out the back of my truck. Thunder. Why is my windshield always dirty? Dad's going fishing. See you in a bit. Got a piece of branch, leaf on my hood. Where'd Marley go? My cousin? Walking around with some branches. Yeah, Marley came over this morning. She was all full of mud. I don't know if she was playing in the mud, but she was playing in the mud. And you could tell when a dog's like kind of like gloating happy, kind of like they're laughing, like, hey, look, I'm all full of mud. I'm gonna run all around your house. Yeah, and it's like, and you're still gonna pet me. You're still gonna pay the dog tax. How do they know? Like, who's training who, right? All right, so it looks like it's gonna be another epic grass cutting day. So I was supposed to do another job, but it's like basically all my clients, so we'll get into the topic in a second of musical equipment, but all my clients are like, it's like, yeah, I can do this for you, I don't know if I'm gonna do it for this day or this day, because I got this day and this day. And when I try to, as soon as I start explaining who I gotta work for, so do whatever you can, just do it. It's like, cause it's going to be a big explanation, right? It's like, I'll do it for you, but the catch is I don't know which day. Yeah, over here looks good. I was coming along. Would be good luck. I gotta finish up there. Shoveled that driveway for 6 hours, put gravel in that driveway. A big job. Maybe are they gonna actually patch the potholes? No, they wouldn't do that. What are they doing to the bridge? I wonder what they're doing there. Interesting. As long as they're done by the time I got back, because they can't be in my way. Hey, I see a sprinkler over there. I guess they're trying to grow the grass where it's all dead. I wonder if that thing's working yet. What the heck is that big? Oh, okay, that's the corral, yeah. It's like a gravel corral, where they just push everything into the gravel corral. So it's got a headlight out. Dooley. I don't know who that is. I know a dually is like stupid expensive to run, but I've always wanted one. Not always, but like ever since I've been into trucks, I've always wanted one. All right, I guess we can, speaking of wanted one. Okay, so from the non-professional, washed up rocker, my opinions on, which matter more than anything else in the world, I'm sure, of, you know, okay, so you want to record an album, stuff like that. Now, I got my own equipment to do that. Now, I'm not one of those guys that, oh, I got recording equipment, therefore I can record the best album in the world. No, I've got 2006, a Boss BR1200 2006. That'll never be as good as a professional studio, but it can give you something pretty good, right? You know, for demos and stuff like that, getting ideas down. So it'll never be as good as, but it's something, right? You know, it's a place to start. And most people now, they're, you know, everything's home studio on the computer. Like, recording consoles are kind of going away. Like, you almost, you know, like, even the professional studios, like, they've got these big 72 channel consoles, right? Buttons and knobs and, you know, faders and whatever. But it's all hooked up to computers, you know? So they do all their finalizing and everything like that, and mixing the track and what do you call it? Getting like the, you know, like adding to, what do you call it? Well, it's basically a mastering. I was supposed to work with her today. I guess now she knows. Now she knows. Now she knows, yeah. So I guess he's not coming to my place then. Okay, there you go. Yeah, so mastering, and I can master okay. Like, I mean, I still get that little bit of, you know, like, because it's an overall mastering, it's not an individual like, I can't, on my BR1200, I can't master individual tracks, which is what you really need to be able to do, or else you're always going to have a little bit too much of a overblown bass or too much of a high somewhere, you know, unless you just dull everything down, right? And you're always in that compromise mode, so you can still do it on a budget, right? And as long as you don't, the trick I'm finding is just get the best recording going in. I don't have DI boxes or anything like that, which if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it, but it allows you to catch a lot of your mistakes, right? And so you may have to resort to renting equipment. So I'll go with the idea that you have to, that you're a multi-instrumentalist, you play guitar, drums, bass, and you can sing, okay? You're like me, you can do it all. You might not be the best drummer, you might not be the best bass player, you're pretty good at the guitar, and you sing okay. You know, you're a notch above an alley cat, right? Okay, fine. So enough that you could put a song together, okay, but you don't have the other instruments. Well, you could rent them. Now, I used to work in a music store years and years ago when I was a teenager. And now, mind you, I'm sure prices have changed since then, but basically bands come in on a Friday, I'd load them up, and they'd be basically, you know, PA typically, all the cables, everything they needed. I'd make sure they have everything they needed. Lights, if they had that. There was a couple of different packages, right? So there's a few different size PAs with monitor combinations, and there was a few, you know, different, you know, lighting combinations and stuff like that. And usually almost everything went out in a weekend. And in fact, this is where this music store made most of its money, was on music, on the rentals, right? And it made, you know, the other half basically on guitar lessons and, you know, singing lessons and stuff like that. And then the rest was made up selling instruments and, you know, accessories and whatever. So yeah, so that's what they do. And it wasn't big money to rent everything, but if you rented something for a month, you got a better deal, usually a couple of $100. So this is something that is probably not too far off the market in this day and age, you know, adjusting for inflation. So you probably still can do that without too much problem, right? So let's say you had to rent a bass. Well, at Long and McQuaid, you can rent a cheap bass for like, you know, 20, 30 bucks a month or something like that. The drums you could probably rent for like 60, 70 bucks for the month. You know, wind instruments, you know, orchestra instrument, you name it, you can rent it. You know, I've never rented a musical instrument, but it's cool to know that there's an option to get. So maybe you don't have a really good recording studio. Maybe you've used your cheaper recording equipment to get your ideas down and stuff like that. Now you know, you did the learning curve on that. You know, like, use what you got and master what you have, even with its limitations. Whether it's a cheap instrument, cheap recording equipment, learn how to do that first. Because when you know, like, when they rent you something, they're going with the idea you know how to use it, right? They might give you a quick crash course on how to hit the record button. But if you got to master something, that's as almost takes as much practice as playing the guitar. You know, like, I mean, there's a whole learning curve there, right? So if you don't understand that stuff or how to do it, you might be wasting your money there, right? You know, until you learn how to do it. But maybe you rent something for 6 months if you have the budget, and then in 6 months you actually come out with something really good. Now I better slacken off my speed, because there was a barbecue that was out here yesterday that I didn't get, and maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get it for scrap metal today. And anywho, yeah, you can rent stuff. So let's say you rent the drums, you rent this, you rent that. The next is, do you have a place that's quiet enough for you to record? That's my biggest problem. Is I can record instrumentals forever and a day, because the electric guitars are quiet enough. But when it, you know, like when I plugged in, but I can't like record the vocals because you know, my dad's at home, right? So you know, like he's not gonna really, you know, it's bad enough that I play heavy metal guitar and he hates that, right? So like I try not to be intrusive with the guitar, even if he liked the music. Guitar players would be really fucking annoying to live with. You know. Oh, right on. Some free scrap metal. I just gotta zing this thing into the back. See the nice garage they're building here. Okay, I'm a little bit on there, so hurry. Yeah, gotta grab my gloves. I'm on the job always. Right, so you got your, you figured that you have to rent stuff. God, I hope I didn't lock my door. Okay, good. That would really suck, because I'd be burning gas just sitting there. That's worse, locking yourself out of your vehicle and oh, this is gonna be. They're never as heavy as they look. My truck is really high, so. This is how a man is. Probably should put it the other way. Let it slide around. It'll be fine. My truck still smells like moldy horses. Mine. That'll go in the trailer tonight. Watch. Hey, Reg. Oh, I'll get to my buddies and you'll be like, hey, Reg, make sure your truck's clear because we got